and welcome to the start of a new weekly reading vlog. This is going to be part of my Clear Shit reading vlogs. If you're unaware, I am participating in the Clear Shit readathon. I will have my original video linked in the description below if you'd like to check it out and learn more about the readathon, but it runs from November to the end of December. So as it is December 1st, I am still making my way through all of those books on my Clear Shit TBR. I'm also, of course, still working on reading down all of the books on my own TBR. I am starting this week off with 157 books, which is still a lot, but we are making some slow progress. But of course, it is December 1st, so let's talk about the books that I got through Libro FM's Influencer Review program. If you're unaware, the program lets you choose up to 10 audiobooks each month that are like new releases or are about to be released, and so I did choose 2 of those. So the 2 books that I ended up picking up was Twisted Hate, which I believe is book 3 in this Twisted series by Anna Wong. I am currently reading the 2nd book in the series, but we'll talk about that in a moment. And I also picked up Bouquets Buckles because it's like a short romance novella and it just sounded like it'd be really fun. I believe the audiobook is only like 3 hours, so it is definitely one I can fly through. So I don't feel too bad about adding that one to my TBR. But of course, this brings my TBR to 159, which is back to where we began at the beginning of last week's vlog. So not much progress, but we'll see how this week goes. So if you saw last week's reading vlog, you will have saw that I did start Twisted Hate by Anna Wong. This is the first book that I'm reading in this series just because I did have an audiobook of it already on my TBR. So I have not read the first one in the series yet. This one is book number 2, but I am enjoying it so far. It's a bodyguard romance and we haven't got too much into it, just that our main character is like part of the royal family and she has this new bodyguard because her old bodyguard went on paternity leave, so she's now stuck with this new bodyguard and they have this attraction to each other. But that's kind of all that I know about it so far, where I am, but I am enjoying it so far. And I'm also about 30% of the way into The Roommate Risk. This is another romance book. This one I have the ebook of, and I'm also really enjoying this one as well. It's following our 2 characters who end up becoming friends, then they hook up, and they have been strictly friends for I think like 7 years or something like that. But they have always like lived separately, and one day the main character's like apartment ends up flooding, so she has to go live with Raul, who is our main love interest, and it's just like their dynamic so far. This one does have like a past and a present timeline going on right now, which isn't my favorite, but overall like the story I'm really liking so far, so we shall see how that one ends up turning out. But yeah, I'm about 30% of the way through that one. And then I am still working my way through this chunky one, The Wise Man's Fear. I am about 140 pages through this one, which is progress. I'm making some slow progress through this one. So yeah, this one I am also enjoying. However, it's not as good as the first one. And there's not really much I can say about it so far that wouldn't like spoil the first one. This one is obviously like day 2 of this like series going on, and yeah, it's just our main character at school, things are happening, but I do really enjoy being in this world and with these characters, so we'll see how this one goes. But those are the 3 books that I am currently reading, but we'll see how this week goes just because this week is my final week of school. This is finals week, so I have 5 exams that I will be taking during this vlog, so I'm not sure how much reading I will get done, but I will be doing my best. This week I also have my nail appointment, which is really exciting, and then I will also be taking a like little day trip down to Orlando also, so we might be going to a bookstore, so we'll see how my TBR does after that. So hopefully I do make a lot of progress on my TBR this week, just because obviously being the beginning of the month and with a trip to a bookstore planned, I'm not sure how my TBR is going to hold up, but this is going to be a really busy week for me and we'll see how it goes. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to be almost done with school and to have a few weeks off before my next semester starts. Next semester doesn't start till the 2nd week of January, so I have many weeks off. We're gonna try and finish this year off very strong reading wise and see how many books I can get off my TBR. But yeah, I will take you guys along the ride with me and we'll see how it goes. Good morning. It is the next day. Yesterday, I did read a bit more of The Wise Man's Fear and Twisted Games. Twisted Games, I'm like 35% of the way into, and I think I only read like 20 pages of The Wise Man's Fear. Not a lot, but I finished all of my homework assignments for like the rest of the year, and today I have my first final to go take, which is less than fun. But I also went to the post office just now to drop off some packages. Thank you to everyone who buys books off of my Pango bookstore. That is so nice of you guys. It really does help me a lot. And yeah, so that's what I did this morning, and now I have to go take my exam. So that's not very fun, but I'm definitely going to be listening to more of Twisted Games. I'm very interested to see how that one goes. We're sort of at the point where our main character is going from being like the spare heir to the throne to potentially being the one who has to take over. Things are definitely starting to pick up. Things are starting to happen. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's definitely not as good as the God of the Game series, in my opinion, at least so far, and from this one book in the series. But yeah, I am enjoying it. I would say right now I'm sitting at like a 3.5, so like I am enjoying it, and we will see how the rest of the book goes. But that is just my little update that I wanted to give you guys. It is such a gloomy day outside, but I have finished my first exam and I passed the class, so yay me. Very excited. I have 3 more exams and 1 like big written project that I have left for the semester. So very excited. I have my next exam tomorrow, so we will see how that one goes. But yeah, I'm very excited that I passed my first exam in the first class. Guys, I just got a NetGalley arc of one of my most anticipated releases. And yes, this does make my TBR go up to 160, which really hurts because I was so excited to be below 160. But I just got You Won't Forget Me by Maisie Eddings. And if you've been on this channel before, you will know that I absolutely love Maisie Eddings' books. And this is her next sapphic book that's coming out, and I am so excited to finally have a copy of this. So it is adding an ebook to my TBR, but I absolutely cannot wait to read this. Like, I am so excited. So I just had to let you guys know about that one, but it hurts, but I'm really excited. Hello, so it is a couple days later. Yesterday I had my next final exam, so 2 exams out of 4 done. I did pass, so that was really exciting. I also got my nails done, and I did like French tips, and they're like gingerbread cookie types. Also, I have a gingerbread little guy in my car with me. Yesterday I did finish Twisted Games by Anna Huang. That was the audiobook I was listening to. I gave it 2.5 stars, and yeah, it wasn't my favorite. I definitely can understand why so many people like it. I liked the plot of it more than I liked the romance, honestly. The romance was just okay in my opinion. Yeah, it was just fine. After that, I then started the audiobooks of Bouquets and Buckles, I believe is the title of it. This one is a really short, like, smutty romance novella. I think the audiobook was only like 2.5 hours, if I remember correctly. So it was very short, but it was very fun. It was like a snowed-in Christmas kind of romance. It's about this woman who wants to surprise her boyfriend on Christmas Eve, and when she like shows up at his house, she finds out that he is cheating on her. So when she goes back to her car and she's like all crying and everything, she realizes she has a flat tire, or maybe she got snowed in. I honestly don't remember. But it was something like that. She couldn't move like her car or whatever, so she goes to call her best friend for help and accidentally ends up calling her best friend's dad. And yeah, it's a best friend's dad romance. Very short, very fun. They're snowed in for Christmas together, and yeah, 3 stars. It was a good time, but like nothing overly special. So yeah, 2 more books down. I haven't made any more progress on The Wise Man's Fear, and I haven't really decided on another audiobook that I want to pick up, but I think I'm going to start buddy reading Quicksilver with my friend. she has already read to like chapter 3, but yeah, I'm gonna see if I can maybe find the audiobook of that one from my library. I do own it physically, but I'm already reading The Wise Man's Fear physically, so I don't want to start another physical book, so we will see. But I definitely want to buddy read that with her, so maybe I'll pick that one up next. I'm not too sure. But today I am in the Orlando area, and on my way down here, I stopped at Spellbound Books, which is a little indie bookstore, I believe in Sanford, and that was such a cute area. Like, it's all decorated for Christmas, and like the whole downtown area is so beautiful. I did get some pictures of like the inside of the bookstore, but yeah, that was really cute, really fun. But I ended up going there with my mom, me and her spending the day together. But she ended up buying me a book and a little tote bag, which they're in the back seat. But I'm not going to count that book as one that is being added to my TBR just yet, just because it is one that she is going to be giving me for Christmas. So it's not like being added to my TBR just yet. I will be eventually hauling that one, but for right now, I can still make progress on my TBR and like not have to worry about it. So yeah, that's my little update. That's the plans. I'm not sure if we're gonna stop at another bookstore or not, just because it does take us 3 hours to get here and we don't want to be driving in the dark. But yeah, we will see how it goes. Tomorrow I do have another exam to take. I'm not really sure how much reading I'm going to do. Obviously, yesterday I got a lot of audiobook listening done. And honestly, that's just because I was really stressed out about having to take an exam, and then I was de-stressing after the exam by listening to an audiobook. I like to listen to audiobooks while playing Stardew Valley, which is like a cozy like farming game. But yeah, I just like putting on an audiobook and playing that to like de-stress. So that's what I pretty much spent a lot of yesterday doing, which is why I got so much audiobook listening done. So that will probably also happen tomorrow. So I definitely need to figure out an audiobook to listen to. But yeah, I brought The Wise Man's Fear with me to read in the car while my mom's at her appointment. So that is what I'm going to do, and we can see how much I end up reading. But yeah, that is it for this little update. I will update you guys again tomorrow. Definitely when I figure out an audiobook that I'm going to be listening to. In my last clip, I told you guys that I was thinking about starting Quicksilver, and I did, and I have since finished this book. It is the end of the vlog. Technically, the vlog ended yesterday, but I'm just now getting around to updating you guys. I have finished all of my final exams, so I am finally free from school, but I read Quicksilver. Specifically, I listened to the audiobook of it. I got the audiobook from my library, and I sort of binged the book that way. I wouldn't say this book was particularly good. It was definitely a long audiobook, but since I was in the middle of exams, I decided I was just going to like play Stardew Valley and listen to an audiobook the entire time. So yeah, that's what I did. I listened to this book, and I can understand why this book is hyped, but I was not a fan of it. I did give it 2.5 stars. I was going to give it 2 stars, but I gave it that extra half star just because it was kind of fun. It was binge worthy. I had to give credit where credit is due. But this book is following Ceres, who is a human who ends up getting swept away to the Fae world, and she is connected to this guy named Kingfisher, who's basically like Death himself. He's this very powerful Fae guy, and yeah, they have this magical connection to each other. And honestly, I can't really tell you much about the plot because the plot had so many plot holes in it. Things just kind of happened. The side characters were interesting, yet not like fully fleshed out enough to really matter to the story. Yeah, I don't know. There was just a lot of things that this book was doing, but I don't think it necessarily did them well. I will say that this book was quite cringy, especially at the beginning. Ceres is definitely one of those characters who's not like other girls. It's very cringy, very stereotypical. She's the most beautiful woman ever. Every guy wants to be with her. Everyone's in love with her. All of this. We end up finding later in the book that she is a very powerful person and is unlike anyone else. The whole A Court of Thorns and Roses series, that's the sort of vibe that this book gives, but I feel like this book is a lot cringier than ACOTAR was, which I feel like is saying something. But I did enjoy ACOTAR when I read the series. I love that series. I do know that the author is problematic, so I won't be reading any more books by her, but this book reminds me so much of that series. And I'm not saying that they're the same in any way. They have like two totally different plots. I think Akhtar, at least the beginning books, are written for a lot more of a younger audience. This one is a lot more explicit, a lot older, and you can definitely tell it was written for an adult audience. But they just have those same vibes of having this not like other girl character who ends up being really powerful, who's connected to this very powerful fae guy. That's what this gives, but I feel like the writing in this one was just so cringy and just not for me that it made this book really hard to read. And there are certain spicier scenes in this book that were not good. I was not happy having to listen to those scenes at all. Also, I would say do not listen to the audiobook of this. I feel like reading this book would be a lot better. Not that the audiobook narrators did a bad job, I just feel like having someone read the words in this book to you makes it even worse. And that is coming from someone who does listen to a lot of romance and spicier books on audio. That doesn't bother me. It was just the writing of this book was just not good. So yeah, I did read it. It is a chunkier book, so I am glad that it got it off my TBR, but yeah, not the best book. I also ended up getting another book yesterday. It was sent to me by the author, and that is Wolf Actually. I have talked about this author before, Amy Ray. I am on her ARC reader team, so I did get a free copy of this book sent to me, so it is adding one to my TBR. Again, I've added a lot of books to my TBR this week, but like it is the first week of December, and the first week of a month is always when I seem to acquire the most amount of books, so it's not surprising, but it is a little sad just because looking at my numbers, I haven't made much progress on my TBR this week, but it is what it is. So I did acquire that one. However, I also ended up finishing The Roommate Risk by Talia Hibbert. This is another one that I'm giving 2.5 stars to. Now, I love Talia Hibbert's writing. I love the ideas that she had for this book. However, this book has time jumps in it, quite a lot of them, and I've talked about it before on my channel, but I just don't like books that have time jumps in it. It has to be written in a very specific way for me to actually enjoy it, and this just was not that. This is a friends to lovers story, and these friends do have a history with each other. They have had sex with each other before and then decide to continue being friends. So you have pining from both sides, but that's like all in these past chapters, and then we get the current chapters, and it also, especially near the end, skips by quite a few months. And for this being like a full-length novel and like not a novella, I just didn't feel like everything was fleshed out enough. I didn't feel these characters' chemistry, besides just being told that they were really good friends, and besides being told that they have this history with each other. It's just, since it all happened in the past, it just doesn't feel real and current, and so that's why I ended up giving this one 2.5 stars. I definitely feel like a lot of other people could really enjoy this one, but it just wasn't for me. And then I DNF'd the audiobook of I Can Fix This. This is just one of those random audiobooks that I had gotten from a past Libra FM like influencer listener copy things that they do each month. I'm really not sure why I had decided to get this one. I probably just saw a free romance book and decided to get it because why not? And I did listen to, I believe, the first 4 chapters of it, but I was just bored. I didn't care. It's like a grumpy sunshine book following a teacher, and I believe he is a carpenter of some sort, or like he does home renovations, things like that. And so he ends up helping her fix up, I believe, her grandmother's house. And yeah, I was just sort of bored. I didn't really care, so I decided to DNF it. So I had started this week off with 157 books on my TBR, and I had gotten 5 books off of my TBR. However, I did acquire 4 books during this week, so my TBR only went down to 1, so I am currently sitting at 156 books on my TBR. Progress is progress. I can't be mad at that, and I am really excited for all the books that I did get this month, so yeah. Also, I'm out of school now, so hopefully I end up reading a whole lot more, but honestly, I read 5 books this month, and it was finals week, so like, I'm very proud of myself for that. A lot of it was audiobooks. Again, I just listened to audiobooks while playing cozy games, and that was sort of how I was relaxing and de-stressing from all of my exams. So yeah, I definitely won't be reading as many audiobooks, I don't think, going forward, just because I don't have that stress of school, which is good because I have so many physical books I need to get to. Speaking of which, The Wise Man's Fear, I didn't make too much progress on this one this week. I am on page 161, so I made some slight progress, but definitely not a lot, but I am still really enjoying this one, and hopefully I at least finish this one before December is over. I definitely just need to take the time to sit there and read this one. I just think this is a very heavy book and it's not very comfortable to read. My library also does not have an audiobook of this one. I don't even know if an audiobook exists, but I'm not going to purchase one. But I am enjoying being back in this world and with these characters. Not much has happened since I last updated you guys about this book, so yeah, I'm still enjoying it, and hopefully I do end up just taking the time to read it. But that is it for this little reading vlog. It's definitely a bit of a different one. I feel like I did a lot of cart updates this time. I was going places, I was doing a lot of things this week, but thank you guys for making it this far into the video. Let me know in the comments what books you have recently read, and if you don't want to do that, leave me the little book emoji. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!